Hello everyone, Thomas Ronhaar here and welcome back to yet another league racing video on this channel. We are here today, as you can see, at Bahrain for WR round number 7, I believe. As you can see, here are the standings from last race out in France, where I didn't participate and of course didn't make a video because I didn't race. Still leading the way ahead of Jake and Alvaro. And then there's P4 for Nicholas Longue. He was looking to do a bit of a comeback as he didn't attend all the love races so far this season. And yeah, we as you can see in Q1 are looking to, as always, get through with one set of tyres if possible. Pace looking very promising going into the race in both quali and race. So we're looking to do our very best as always. Coming in towards turn 1, one will be braking just before the 100-meter board down to third gear, avoiding the curb on the inside, missing the apex a tiny bit maybe, but important to get the power down as much as you can and using all the road in the exit. Now coming in towards turn 4, braking just after the 100-meter board, kissing the curb on the inside and using all of the curb on the outside, and then coming in towards sector 2, 0.135 split, which is pretty good for Q1. Once again, using all the road on entry and on the exits. For this exit, you want to kind of use the curb but not go fully over it, as that will spin you around basically. Coming to turn 10, one of the most difficult corners on the whole calendar. Doing it pretty nicely. And yeah, so far it's been a really good lap. Definitely good enough to go professional pole in Q1. And looking very promising as we go through the last part of Q2 right now, using a bit of curb here to rotate the rear, as there's a 0.721 split, which is very good, but could have definitely been a tiny bit better, but it will still be enough to put a professional pole in Q1 if it could continue like this. Coming into the last corner, clipping the curb on the inside, using all of the road, and DRS wide open, cross the line, and it's a 27.270, which was enough to stay P1 at the time by a tenth of a second, I believe, to Alessio Di Capua. As we go straight away into Q2, and you can see this is going to be my last run in Q2, because my first run I actually invalidated my lap, and we're currently P11 as we lose the car completely, and that definitely costs us a tenth at least. It may be a bit more, so it's not been an ideal start of the lap. So we have to completely go flat out in the last part of this lap. You can see 0.234 split, which is a full 10th up of what you did in Q1. So we need to absolutely nail this last part of the lap. You can see absolutely nailed that section of the track. And then coming into a turn 10, can't go deep this time because otherwise that will be game over for our lap. You can see getting on the power so nicely. And we are 3 turns up on our use run, I believe, because we didn't complete our first new run, and so Delta's a bit, messed up. 4 turns up at this point, and we're looking to go and improve even more. You can see a 0.62 split. We managed to find 2 tenths in the middle sector compared to our Q1 lap, which is obvious because Q2 has a lot more grip than Q1, and it's going to be quite easy to improve lap times very easily. And then into the last corner, getting a bit squirrely, but gaining the power good enough. And P1 once again by only 100th, because our lap wasn't too great, and definitely could have been a lot better. As we skip to Q3, you can see Alvaro Carreton goes professional pole with a 27.1. That's not going to stay for long, because I believe there will be a Ferrari coming across the lane in 23 seconds of Nicholas Longue, and he's on a 26.988, which is a very good bunker. So far, we haven't made any mistakes in this lap. It was a really good bunker. But just not quite what I'm on the limit, because just want to get on the time on the board, and you know the stuff. And nailing the last corner, cross the line once again. Are we gonna go pushing the pole? Yes, we are. And by half a tenth we go into P1, but it definitely won't be enough for pole position. As you'll see, many people were improving on their last runs, And I can confirm all 10 of us did manage to improve at the end of the session. Apart from one guy, I think an Alpine didn't manage to do a lap. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Into turn 1, managing to hit that curb. Nearly could have maybe been a bit tighter. As you can see, losing 2 to 300 on the exit. So it's not been an ideal start to the lap. But I can tell you now, the rest of the lap you can see was absolutely nailed. And we find 600 purely on that exit. And it's a 0.25 first, which is nearly my PB. I believe my PB first was a 27.98. So nearly my PB first. And I can confirm this middle sector as Nicholas Longo gets quickest with a 0.83, which is a very good time indeed. But this middle sector, as you'll see right here, is actually my PB middle. As I've done this whole time. You can see Alessio Capua. I don't know how you ended up there, but he's retired from the session. As we are nearly 2/10 up and into sector 3, which is a 3-0 split, which is, I can confirm, only 100 off my PB. So this lap has been absolutely fantastic, as we just need to keep it in the final corner. You can see, could have been a bit better the apex, as we can see we lost 100th of a second, but it is still going to be enough to go pole position with a 0.716.
Wait, what did you do? A 6?
As you can see, I didn't do a 0.6 Duncan, I did a 0.71, but yeah, very good time indeed. Nice face game as well, Thomas. But yeah, 3/10 clear of the top of P3 and below. You can see Alessio Kappa wasn't the one that put the time on the board. The rest did indeed improve at the end. So yeah, very promising qualifying. As we move on to the race, gonna be a hard medium, pretty much as always. I can't remember when I did medium hard. As we say good luck to each other, me and Duncan. As it's gonna be 5 red lights, and away we go for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Getting a pretty good start. Second phase wasn't too great, and you can see Nicholas gets alongside, and he is gonna be alongside us into turn 1, making a bit of contact, but we managed to stay ahead in towards turn number 3. Having to use my battery slightly here to kind of cover off the maneuvers from Nicholas Longo, as he tries to go for a switchback, but he decided to back off and play the long term. You can see nothing really happened in this start so far, apart from behind, obviously, a few people scrabbling out at the back of the grid. And yeah, the first 2 laps haven't been too special, but in my mind, you can see the gap is 4/10, so that's just after 2 corners, 2 to 3 corners. And my plan originally was to just don't use anything and save my tires as much as possible, because my tire wear wasn't the greatest. I was on quite low wings for this race compared to the likes of Alvaro, Luke, Jake. I think Nico was the only guy that was really the closest to my wings in terms of overall wings. But yeah, my original thoughts were, alright, let's try and do something, as we absolutely missed that apex, losing a bit of time. As Nico, right there, you can see, he made a mistake and he had to use a battery. And I thought, okay, maybe he's, kind of worried about me pulling away eventually on lap 2. And that is what I'm going to try and do. Try and put him off guard and pull away, if possible, in this race. You can see, gap is 5/10s. I'm not going to use right here, because I just want him to think that I'm not going to use. As there's been an accident at the back of the field, you can see Williams of Shanaka, if I'm not mistaken, was in an incident, and unfortunately he's been taken out. But you can see on this exit, we get a very good launch, and I used my battery here for the first time. You can see the gap is now 3/4 of a second, and we just need 2 more tenths. Well, I say just 2 more tenths, but if we can use our battery, our full battery, you can see trying to break the toe from Nicholas Longo, as we only need 2 more tenths, and that's just something that I've been missing for this race. We needed a bit more pace, and then we could have potentially pulled away. but I can tell you now that has not been the case, unfortunately. Making too many slight errors, you can see, losing the car once again, losing a bit of time. And yeah, nothing happened really in the next 13, 14 laps, as Nicholas Longa goes for an overtake, and this is one of the crucial stage in this race, because next lap you can you're about to see something next lap, which is going to be absolutely crucial as we try and stay as close as possible to Nicholas Longo in the red Ferrari. Moving on to lap 16, like I said, this might be the most crucial moment in this race. I'm trying to go for an overtake, but I am slightly braking. But you can see Duncan Hoffland retired, and we're P1 still P1. But then last second, Nico gets ahead, and the safety car comes out.
My teammate went in. I didn't see it. Oh my
At this moment in time, I don't know what happened with Duncan.
I saw the message.
Oh, then you. Oh.
A teammate is in. Oh,
You had the table, didn't you?
yeah, I did.
As Duncan hits the pit wall, and he thought his teammate was going to pit, which indeed was the case. But he tried to back off and didn't pit, but unfortunately it was too late and he hit the pit wall. So that caused the safety car, and yeah, we're going to be P2 behind Nicholas after the pit stop. You can see only just as we nearly went to the back of him in the pit lane. I do hope as of booking the AlphaTauri is not going to overtake us. You can see he is going to be behind us in P5 and warming our tyres for the restart. You can see moving on just a lap later, tyres are warmed up-ish. Nicola was going pretty slowly, so I couldn't really warm the tyres as I'd like to. But off the exit, he is going to take off, and we got a pretty alright restart. You can see the gap was only 3/10. And I am going to use my overtake here to try and get past Nicholas. He is going to defend, but we go for a dummy, and we're going to go late on the brakes. And we're going to get the move done, full commitment on the brakes, and we get through up to P1. And like I said, apart from this overtake, nothing really happened in the coming 4 or 5 laps. It was kind of an uninteresting race. In terms of on-track battling in the first half and also a bit in the second half, but only you can see in the last 5 laps is where it all starts to get chaotic. You can see at lap 23, this is where it all pretty much starts. You can see Nicholas goes for a dive and gets the move done on us, so he gets the lead for now with 6 laps to go. We are looking to try and stay as close as possible to the Ferrari of Nicholas Longue. But his pace was pretty good. Couldn't really stay within 3/10 for the first part, but in the second part we found some really good pace, and we're going to try and go for the overtake once more on Nicholas. You can see using a bit of my battery to try and get past into turn 1. You can see Nicholas not going to go defensive, and we are going to try and get the DRS as we kind of play a bit with the DRS tactics. Using my battery once again, and we are gonna go for the inside. He leaves us just enough room. Fair play to Nico for leaving just enough room. Making a bit of contact, got a bit squeezed on the curve, and we are still side by side, but I used a bit of my overtake. And I commit to the corner, and that is us up into P1. Have to go defensive because I didn't want Nico to send up my inside. Covering the apex as we get hit slightly, but Nico didn't want him to switch back me, so we had to cover that off. And up to P1 we go once more. And I'm just gonna show you guys the rest of the coming 2.5 laps of this race, because this is where it's gonna get very interesting. This is one of the most enjoyable battles I've had this game with Nicholas. Very hard battling is inbound. Just wanted to point that out. But yeah, I enjoyed it. You can see Nicholas is on 80%, but he is going to try and close the gap to us. And by the end of the lap, he is going to be equal to us on ERS. but that's because you can see on the exit, he is going to need a bit of a battery, and he is going to try and go for the overtake. You can see Jake is also trying to follow him around in the Mercedes. You can see Nicholas goes for the outside. I'm going to get the DRS, so I'm just going to set up the exit. As we get a bit loose, he goes in the exit. Jake right now is right near us, and he is going to send it up the brakes. But we are going to brake later, go deep, and get on the power earlier so we can stay in P2 behind Nicholas, which is crucial. I'm not going to allow him to let him take off. We need to stay close, otherwise it is going to be game over. As you can see, the gap is still within half a second, because that's all I need. I need to stay within the half second region to Nicholas and have enough ERAs to not run out at the end. You can see getting rid of wheel spin, and yeah, at this point Nico is still high on ERAs. I'm not sure how he managed to do that, but his ERAs management this race was very promising. As I am still gonna use my battery to stay with Nicholas, because I didn't want to let it go. You can see missing the apex once again, losing another 10th, and they're just not looking ideal for us right now. I did not want to let Nico win this race, because that's gonna hurt me in the championship. In the long term, you can see we're getting a really good launch out of the last corner, and I'm gonna drain my whole battery. My whole battery is gonna be drained. You can see Nico thought I was not gonna make it, but I am gonna go full send on the brakes, making a bit of contact, pushing him slightly off the track, but I wasn't off track, and up to 3-1 we go. But I can confirm that overtake from the stewards was not legal. I'm gonna get a 5-second time penalty actually added to my race time. So we're gonna win on track most likely, but no at the end of the race. I can understand the opinions from the stewards and from Nico. They said it wasn't a fair move, which I can understand. I saw a gap and I went for it, but yeah, completely understand the decision and gonna have to live with it. It's gonna be hopefully pointless in this race, because you can see a whole train is still behind us, looking to scrap it out for the last possible points. Yeah, really good race from my side. Really showed my potential today, but it is unfortunately not going to stay P1. I was very happy with the result at this time, but unfortunately it's not going to stay like this, and it's going to be, can confirm right now, I believe it's going to be P7 at the end of the race, as we come with the final corner, and we are going to take the win on track, but not off track. As you can see, just showing the results right here, it is going to be P1, but we got a 5-second penalty. No, actually a 3-second time penalty, sorry. And we're going to drop behind Liam Parnell in the Red Bull, who drove a really good race. Also, Tico Hardy, I don't know how to say the name, but he drove a really good race as well from P19 to P8. So yep, unlucky for the penalty, but it is what it is. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe as always, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao, ciao.